Just gonna make sure you can hear me. Can you hear me, everybody? Hey, you out there? Can you hear me? Do you hear me now? Can you hear this? If you're able to hear my computer, you can probably hear me then. But I want to see. There I am, I'm live. Who knows what I'm doing? Just gonna make sure you can hear me. Yeah, I can hear me. It's good enough. Just gonna check the options real quick and see if there is like a HDR mode. Ultra. I don't know what that means. Ray tracing. It didn't say anything about HDR, so I guess it doesn't have HDR. Interface. I think we're fine. Oh, there you go. Continue game. Alright, the next thing, or I should say the first thing I want to do is go back and look at the message board and see if there isn't any more side missions. I don't know how I trigger those. I think I was trying to look up some stuff, and I think I just have to, what do you call it? Let me just go search over here. Screw it, right? I'm already here, might as well just go search over here. So I think I have to progress the story in order to get more missions from the janitor. Oh my god. Can I not do it right now? That needs to work though. It's a little buggy. Can't trust it. At any rate, I think I should look over here. Ooh, something here. Spin fire rate boost. Emergency call summary. Open collectibles. Event summary. An possible AEW in which an unnamed individual experienced corporeality via a telephone line. The event is notably similar to AEW Redacted, in which Redacted. Event response. The event is believed to have been caused by Redacted, and as a result the following measures have been taken to prevent Redacted. Okay. Other things I think I have, right? Let's go check them out. I have food coming in a bit, so I have to eat. Astral plane, okay. Examination of paranatural topics, the astral plane, and objects of power. Summary. The Bureau has spent years studying why objects of power transport users into the astral plane when touched. My predecessor, Dr. Ash, theorized that a potential receptacle determined by Jungian archetypes and the collective subconscious would be inhabited by paranatural energies when an AEW occurred in its vicinity, creating an altered item. Over time, a link was created by the Redacted and the astral plane to that item, making it an object of power. So many additional theories have been raised since Dr. Ash's time. Objects of power were placed on Earth as tests by some astral entity. Our dimension was once part of an astral plane, and the objects were left behind by its borders receded. The astral plane was an early threshold into the oldest house, but the connection was severed, and now the two are linked solely through objects of power. I will attempt to disprove some of these in order to thin the herd. Hopefully, the truth will emerge. Refer to file 632-6498 for full report. The astroplane counter essay. Astral. Alternative perspective, objects of power, and their astral connections. Dr. Darling is insistent. Let me start that again. Summary. Dr. Darling is insistent that certain objects of power share a direct connection to the redacted, an entity or group of entries that we have little information on, or that I'm allowed to access, whatever. In his written reports, he states that there is a clear link between these objects of power and redacted, the astral plane, and the oldest house itself. His work supposes these links are innate, a fact ingrained into the very redacted of objects such as the hotline or the service weapon. But what if these particular objects were never linked to the redacted, but had that connection forced upon them? Isn't it strange that no other objects of power require such direct contact with the redacted? Isn't it strange that using the service weapon or the hotline will result in grievous harm or even death if the user is not the director, or at least worthy of the role? Why do we assume this involvement by the redacted is a natural fact and not something more redacted? Refer to file 627-9382 for full report. Correspondence. Darling, budget request. Dear Dr. Darling, I suspect my colleague, Dr. Harrington, has already contacted you, asking for an increase in her department's budget. I'm not surprised. Parapsychology has always been the squeaky wheel. All fuss, but no results. Parakinesiology has always been the stronger department. More breakthroughs, more tangible data, more usable research. I'm sure a man of your esteem can plainly see which department is more deserving of the budget increase. Just think of what those additional resources could do for an already formidable research team. Anyways, I know you're a fan of a single malt, so I left a bottle of well-aged brown on your desk. In yours in admiration, Dr. Abraham Lewis. Pretty sure that's it. Crazy stuff. A lot of inner office politics going on where we probably shouldn't be. Something's over here. Was it back here? Astro blip. I'm assuming I haven't been to this area then. Need to drink water. Well, I have been here because it opens to me. Excuse me. What is this? Afraid if I go down there, I'm gonna fall down and die. I mean, so far so good. I don't know how I get back up though. It's an elevator. What is this stuff? Where am I? am I? What did I find? Oh, I thought I saw something flying in the air. Did I? There's a battery. Where does the battery go? Suppose it goes nowhere. Okay, nothing in either one of these places. I'm gonna go in here. What's this? Where am I?
Area's under quarantine. I wouldn't go in there without talking to Underhill first. Even if you have, I still wouldn't go in.
What is this? Who are you?
Excuse me? Are you lost?
Yeah, kind of. Mold threshold. Active threshold mold research. Summary. So you want to know more? So you want to know how my mold research is getting on, Casper? Here it is. Microscopic organisms, similar in appearance to redacted, constructed the architecture of the mold. I do not understand if these redacted are the original disseminators of the mold, or are bitten by some fungal infection. The mold is the most prolific and durable organism I've ever seen. I theorize there is a mold source located somewhere in our side of the threshold, rooted here to accelerate growth in our dimension. I refer to this yet unknown source as Mold 1. The mold produces an enticing aroma to encourage human consumption of itself. It promulgates in the chest cavity and quickly subsumes the entire body, seizing control of motor functions. This behavior was not observed when I first arrived, which means the mold has adapted to our presence, targeting our biological imperatives as a way to spread. It truly is ingenious. It is a truly ingenious little thing. A full report will be ready soon. Keep your slacks on. So that's why they're so obsessed about keeping the mold down. That's why the janitors were the most important thing. Alternative perspective regarding threshold utility research. Summary. Dr. Darling's recent penned essay titled Redacted contains some glaring omissions that I feel I must shine light on. Firstly, the entire premise of the essay is that the quarry threshold is beneficial to the Bureau. While the mold is actively hostile, to use his words, we cannot determine the worth of these dimensions and their life forms using bureaucratic definitions. Secondly, the mold is much more beneficial than some rock. If the redacted creating the mold were reconfigured, if their purpose, the structures they could build would rival the greatest skyscrapers. The mold's resistance to various strains of disease we've attempted to introduce could be derived into redacted. Yes, admittedly, this application is more difficult than picking up a rock and gluing it to a wall, but I pause to wonder when the Bureau lost its eagerness for a challenge. Referred to file 235 1863, sorry, 1863, whatever. I don't even know what I'm saying. Yes, I can. Si se puede. What's going on here?
Do you normally barge into people's private workspaces?
Yes.
She clearly doesn't know who she's talking to.
That's right. I'm the janitor's assistant.
Shouldn't you be in a safe room?
Why? Because of those hiss things the Rangers keep going on about. Haven't you people sorted that out yet? The situation down here could spell doom for the Bureau.
You mean this mold?
Correct. Perhaps you could help me. I require samples of various mold strains, and the mold has made the environment far too dangerous for me to fetch them myself.
Really? Mold samples? I thought this could spell doom.
It could, and it will, whoever you are. The mold
The janitor's
is
assistant.
spreading. We need to find the source before it spreads too far.
Any samples will do that?
No. The Samples of 5 unique strains, when blended, will allow you to travel deeper into the pit where I've pinpointed the approximate location of the source of the mold.
Okay. So what do these samples look like?
Similar to the one on my table there. I've made a list of the samples I need. Here. You'll find them throughout the threshold.
I'll take a look. My name's Jessie, by the way.
Assistant
I'm sure it
janitor.
is.
New mission, old growth. Growth.
Have you worked at the FBC very long?
Not long enough to understand their inane methodology. They want me to solve the mold, but how is one to solve anything when the basic molecular structure of this fungus is an utter enigma?
Oh, sorry, are you asking me?
It's rhetorical. The Bureau wants to control, not comprehend. But to answer your question, I'm a seasoned threshold researcher that's been brought in on a provisional basis to resolve this matter.
That's all you had to say.
Nah, Jesse, you're
What
the
have you
director.
heard
You gotta
about
hear out your complaints.
Firstly, the term mold is a gross oversimplification used only to ease communication. That said, the mold itself appears to be the product of complex microorganisms. They spin the mold, building structures like minuscule cities, swiftly colonizing our dimension, and the speed of these tiny engineers relative to their size is simply staggering.
So it grows fast.
If you're not going to listen, then why did you ask?
Seems like that's what she said, right?
So the mold is coming in from where?
We don't have a name for the threshold dimension. The origin point has been identified, but the density of the fungus makes it impossible to enter. Even if we could, I speculate that we would only find a reality entirely subsumed by the fungus. Total decomposition.
It's weird how excited she is, right?
What do you know about the hiss?
How could I know anything about an entity I've only just learned of? This is exactly the Bureau's problem. My work is always interrupted by these superfluous matters.
Calm down. Just keep your HRA on and I'm sure you'll be fine.
This crude thing. I thought it was Darling's idea of a practical joke.
Not quite. Just keep your head down while I handle the hiss. I need to get going.
Yeah, you
Try not to
snooty
transport any
tooty.
spores outside the infected areas.
What does that mean?
Director Faden.
That's right. Assistant 2. Assistant janitor 2. What's over here? Not really sure what that did, but this is where I came out through.
Going to down here. Shut up.
I don't know if I should be doing this.
It smells so sweet down here. Suddenly I'm really hungry. I wonder how this mold tastes.
Don't eat it, Jesse. Is that what you wanted? Old growth.
Back to it then.
Near toilets, near televisions, near staircases, near the pit. Where are these at? Oh. I look at other. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna kill myself. Pink Flamingo supplement. Pink Flamingo background. Agents noticed a transient commonly found outside. I guess. Outside the entrance of the Bureau headquarters would carry the item and loudly claimed to be responsible for the lack of inclement weather. The frequency of these claims attracted the personal interest of Dr. Darling. In interviews disguised as casual conversations, the transient reported that the item gives me clouds when it's hot and sun when it's not. An event of note occurred during a heavy downpour of the vagrant, when the vagrant was witnessed performing a possible ritual with the item. See file PAI 1372 for a detailed observation. Dr. Darling reported a wait of redacted seconds before the rain stopped. The vagrant was seized the next day. After redacted, he was found to possess no redacted and was released. The item remains in the Bureau custody under suspicion of altered status, though this still has not been proven. All known variations of the identification formulas have failed to elicit a response from the item. I don't know what he's talking about. Doesn't look like there's any more places to go down here.
Are those people?
You work for me now. Jesus Christ, what was that? Oh no. I don't know where I am or if I should be there. There's no checkpoint over there either. damn ball go? You work for me now, IT guy. You work for me now, IT guy. Oh no. Major targets. Oh man, it's all over here. Go all the way back. Wait. Elevators over here. Ooh, my food is here. So it ended up being a short playthrough where nothing gets done. Go to mnemonics.
Hope wants us to compile all of Darling's data.
Dead letters is the fastest way there. Did I knock that down? Fast travel. Look, we're going to fast travel over to the executive and take the elevator down, but we're going to leave it on that. Leave it a short stream, 30 minutes, and go eat and get on afterwards. Alright, let's make sure that we have nothing to upgrade. Countermeasures still stuck on these two. Still have no other outfits. Alright, thank you very much for tuning in. Y'all be excellent to each other.